All right, welcome back to another episode of Lounge 11 with Femi and Samco. My name is Femi. I am joined by my co-host Samco, and today we have a very special guest. Before I come to you, Arnold, Samco, how was your week?
Man, it's been a long week, man. Can't even like it's been a long week. Just checked the date today and it's already Friday. We had to record, so we're glad to be
Right,
here, man. Glad to be here. How's it been going
right,
for
right,
you?
right. Not too bad. It's been a long week as well, given the weekend that we had last week, but I'm sure we'll come to that very, very, very soon. We do have a special guest in our midst today. It's been so difficult for us, Samko and I, to find United fans that want to come on, the pod to kind of share their experiences, but we have Arnold visiting the lounge today. Arnold is a good friend of mine out here in LA. We play soccer together, and I'll give you guys a short story. Whenever it's like pickup soccer that we play with like friends and stuff. But when I get there, when I find Arnold is on the other team, I know that I have my work cut out for me that day. Arnold is a very, very good player. So today I'm happy that we're on the same side of the lounge. You know what I'm saying? So Arnold, welcome to the lounge, man. How you
Thank
doing?
you. Thank you. I'm doing all right, man. Thanks for having me, guys. Obviously, myself and Femi had talked about this a while ago, and we have tried to find time. Schedules just have been kind of difficult to work out, but I'm glad we're able to do it today. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Pleasure to have you,
I
man.
look
Yeah,
forward to
looking forward to
everything,
it.
the, the banter. I look forward to the trolling. It is
It's
what it is.
coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Oh,
Enjoy
it's
it.
coming.
Yeah. Before we jump into the Arnold story, Samko, you were just here in LA. We recorded the last episode live in
Yeah,
person. We got an opportunity to spend time with the Arsenal Los Angeles folks out here in LA.
yeah.
Just kind of walk through that experience, how you felt that experience was hanging out with other fans,
I
in the city.
did. It was really good to be honest. It was like they had while we were watching the game, they had their own like chants and stuff that they were singing during the game. It was nice to also see them when we had corner kicks. They were singing the corner kicks, ole ole,
Set
and
piece.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Set piece, ole ole. It was beautiful watching it with those guys, and shout out to them for also like giving us the opportunity to share that moment with them. Unfortunately, it wasn't the best of games for us to do that, but at the end of the day, I can't say I didn't enjoy that experience. It was really good, especially when we spoke with the guy who was running the place or who's been running the whole place for a while now, and
Taylor, I believe. Yeah.
yeah, Taylor, I think that was his name. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he came out and said even when the game's as early as 4:30 a.m., the bar is literally open for people to come in and come watch those games. And I found out like crazy, like how many places are open at 4 a.m. in this part of the world for people to go in and watch a game, right? So that was very interesting, and shout out to them. Definitely, when next I'm back in LA, I'll definitely want to go and watch more games with them for sure.
Yeah, no, shout out to
Yeah.
Taylor. He invited me for the game tomorrow. Our game tomorrow is at
Oh,
4:30.
okay.
So I'm actually really looking forward to covering that game
Oh,
and seeing
nice.
the experience for myself,
Yeah.
whether or not people are going to be there because the game is 4:30 tomorrow.
4:30.
It's
Yeah.
lunchtime kickoff in the UK. So I'll be there trying to cover the game and see how early people show up. And obviously try to catch some more fan reactions. But shout out to
Wow.
Taylor, shout out to the Arsenal Los Angeles folks for
Yeah.
inviting us. And yeah, we're looking forward to spending more time out there with them.
Yeah.
Let's bring our guest into the picture. We've been talking football. It's kind of strange, it's the last since the international break and even just before that. I know you've probably forgotten what it feels like to watch a game, but hopefully this weekend you guys get to, on Monday you get to see a game. But you're a United fan. I know that because you're definitely a very passionate United fan. But one thing I actually really admire about Arnold is I think us fans can be very tribal in the way we kind of go about our teams. Whenever I have conversations with Arnold, it feels very objective typically. So curious to hear his thoughts on United this season. But before we jump into that, I want to kind of get some, your story, your background as to how you started watching United, how you became a United fan, and all of that.
Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, much like many of us, I think, right? Like, an older sibling or an older relative, somebody who was around us who used to watch a lot of that sports, team, and just start to watch them, and if there's something about the team that you like, I'll just latch on. So it was the same for me. It was my oldest brother used to watch a lot of Manchester United at home there, on weekdays, weekends. And my dad got into it a little bit. And I started watching the game maybe a couple years leading up to the 99 final, right? And the 99 final was obviously the big thing, right? Because it was a game that, like, to all intents and purposes, we had lost. And then of the eighth wonder of the world happened in those last few minutes there. I remember that night vividly because my oldest brother, that sibling I'm talking about, actually ripped his shirt in the living room when United scored the winning goal. First of all, when we scored the winning goal, he ripped his shirt off. My mom came down and said, "What happened?" And he said, why you just won? Why you just won? Why you just won? And so obviously from that night, it just got ingrained in me that this was a team that was capable of doing things against the odds. And so, even though what made me like the team was that my older brother was watching them a lot when I was growing up, what made me stay with the team is one word: believe. A lot of people who just started watching Man U, I think, talk about how Man U doesn't play anything in game. Man U wins. Man U has been a team that some of their greatest achievement in a game where they did not play anything. You know what I mean? And so, I'm not preaching that the best way to play the game we love, the sport we love, is to not play anything. But I do think that there's something about a winner. There's something to be said about somebody who can make something out of nothing and win a game where they didn't play their best just because of determination. And it's something that also I can relate to in many areas of my life. So I do like that thing about Man United, where that keeps them going till the very end, kind of against the odds. And it's also something that makes me kind of speak in support of Arsenal, and the potential of Arsenal winning the league this season. Even though some games have not been the best, but we'll get to that a little bit.
Yeah. You talked about the 99 final, but did you have a favorite player? Because I know some of the guys that were in that 99 have gone up to being like heroes and, legends of the club. But is there a particular player that, you grew up after that moment really, really liking for Manchester United?
Your guess is as good as mine. Dex. Obviously from that
That was
team.
my favorite player too, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody loved Dex, but I also thought that, like, Roy Keane was a very dependable energy in the team. I liked Oli. I liked our strikers. I liked the team generally speaking, but I'll say Dex was obviously the shining star
The
there.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was favorite player.
Yeah. Other than the 99 moment, because, that was your indoctrination moment, right? When you think about it. But now that after becoming a United fan, you've experienced several highs after that. You guys won many more titles after that. Which moment stands out to you as, one of your favorites, or maybe some of your favorite United moments following that moment?
I mean, if you want, I mean, one is tough for someone that follows them very closely. I mean, there's a few that will compete. The Champions League 2008. That night, I thought that night was, I remember that night vividly. I was in Abuja visiting my dad, who used to work, in Abuja during the week and come back home to Lagos on Fridays. And so that week, it was a summer or something like that. We went to do with him in Abuja, and then we watched the game at a bar. And I just remember how I thought the penalty shootout had been lost. And then, I think it was Terry that slipped.
Chelsea, Terry, yeah.
Very slipped. And then I never missed. And one of the reasons I picked that moment, it's not because we won the Champions League that night. I mean, that's part of it, obviously. It was a big thing to achieve, but it was also the mixture of emotions. Ronaldo, my favorite player at the time, but during the game, then he missed the penalty, and then he was the only one who missed the penalty. And then everybody else, I mean, most of whom were players who looked up to him, scored their penalties. And so it was one of the, I just felt it was a night that had everything that we love and hate about this game. So that I'll put
Yeah,
this night. Yeah.
that's a good one, actually. Yeah, lots of highs and lows. I think even in real life, we can all relate to that in some way or form. But yeah, no, welcome to the lounge. Welcome to the lounge. I'm going to turn it over to my co-host Samco because if you've been following, this is his area of specialty. You know, yeah, he has put United on the hot seat. He has the files and everything. But I personally think things look like they've turned around since you guys let Amarim go. But Samko, you want to check in and see his thoughts on how the season is progressing and the changes they've made so
Yeah,
far.
yeah, definitely. That was literally going to be my first question because when you look at how Manchester United started the season with like Ruben, and then they let him go, they let Fletcher in for a few games, and then now Carrick. Like, how have you seen that transition in terms of where your expectations were at the beginning of the season and where they are right now?
I think expectations have improved. Just to answer a question, as at beginning of the season, I didn't think that Ruben Amorim was going to deliver Champions League football to Man United. I was hopeful, but I won't lie to you. I didn't really think. I mean, 16th, I had a
Yeah,
couple months, a few signings, strong signings, but I didn't think that the combination of the coach and the new signings and the players was there for a top 5 team. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
I thought if we finished 6th and got any European football, that would be an achievement. Frankly speaking, I also do not expect us to crash out from all the tournaments like that on that end. So you see what I mean when I say, like, in terms of finishing position in the Premier League, I wasn't expecting too much beyond any champion, any European football sport, including the Conference League. But I also thought the full squad will enjoy a few more games in other tournaments. Um, and then obviously Carrick came and there's been a huge uptick in the results. Emphasis on the results. I honestly, guys, I just think in terms of the expectations, any Champions League spot now will be fine. I don't know whether we'll finish third. I hope we do, but I think maybe fourth or fifth. I think any Champions League spot is fine. I don't think we're playing incredible football now. I do think that I think just the energy and the speed with which we played in Carrick's first couple of games has taken a dip. I think that Ruben Amorim energy and quick kind of
Yeah,
play and strong kind of chase people down, break their heels, was there for the City and Arsenal games. And that's the only way
yeah,
we won those top teams in the
yeah,
league. I do think that with the time he's been giving the players extra time off, I think that energy has dropped. And so you don't play football for 10 days, you don't play football for 11 days, you don't play football for 2 weeks and you come and you are barely running.
yeah,
So it's that balance between keeping the players, obviously giving them some time to rest when they're not playing a lot of games, but also keeping them energized and making sure that when they come out after not playing football for 2 weeks, when their opponents played 3 days ago, they should be on the front foot. I think we've lost that. So
yeah.
expectations, long term, I don't really know about how I feel. Or maybe I can express how I feel more in another question, but I do think at the bare minimum, fourth or fifth should be fine this season at this point.
Oh, okay.
well, I just want to say, Samko, sorry, I just want to say, you're welcome to the United fans, the Liverpool fans, and the Chelsea fans. Because when you talk about third, fourth, or fifth, some people made it happen. So yeah, you're welcome.
Fair, fair. We know what to think. We know what to think. No
Yeah,
question.
yeah, yeah.
I believe in, look, we have our preferences as fans. We have times to banter. We have times to troll. We have times to this.
Right, right,
But there are
right.
times to give credit as well.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Sam, go over to you.
Yeah, like, because I think I agree with basically everything you said in terms of like the tempo of the football and everything since Carrick came, right? Because I've looked at Carrick as just that interim manager. I haven't tried to look beyond that, right? But we've come to when the running now, the end time of the season, and like you said, third, fourth, or fifth, I don't think any of those matter to Manchester United right now because if you look at where they are coming from, that is definitely an improvement. And a lot of us, just like you said, if they were able to get 6, I think we predicted somewhere between 6 and 8 for Manchester United. So if they're able to even get 5th position, which now has been confirmed as a Champions League position, I think that's fabulous for them, considering where they came from. But I think we've also gotten to that point now where people start asking themselves, who is that manager that takes them forward beyond next season, right? When do you lie with the Carrick should continue or we should go for a new manager?
Look, Samco, I think we'll wait till the end of the season. I just think we've been here before, right, guys? Right? Even as non-United fans, this thing is not ancient history. We just saw it. Somebody will come, they will use vibes. I'm not saying Carrick is all vibes, but someone has come. They will just attacking football, like if you use vibes, you win a bunch of games, you get a job permanently, and then players' true colors start to come out. The coach starts to see that like this is not, wonderland, and he starts to be faced with different kinds of problems from the kind of problems that somebody is being faced with as an interim manager. The challenges, guys, of an interim manager, the questions that are being asked, the job is different too.
Yeah,
The
it's
interim
very
manager
different.
job is to just get us across the bridge. I mean, when we, or get us to the bridge. When we get to the bridge, we'll cross it. Whichever analogy is more appropriate here.
Yeah.
The job will belong to, as soon as you get the job, you have to start thinking far. Who fits into your plans for next season? You start having players in the dressing room that are grumbling because they don't appear to be part of your plan. So I think to keep it short, right? Like I think we'll get to the end of the season and then we'll see him is out there. Obviously, if he continues like this, 23 out of 30 or 30 points and anything similar, then he has made a case for himself. And then you see who is available at that point, and you make it for example. That's why I end up.
Do you have any preference?
And if wishes were horses, man, like I will try somebody like a Nagelsmann. I will get somebody like an Alonso.
Femi, bring this guy to the banter group chat, man. This guy needs to be in that group chat.
I'll send an invite.
Yeah, bring him to that group chat, man. We need more people like you.
But I don't know whether that's in a good way or in a bad way.
No,
That's a good. Don't worry.
that's a good way, believe me. Because, like I said, it's hard for me to even disagree with anything you said because I think you and I see things in the same way, right? In terms of like everything you said so far, right? It's funny you said Nagelsmann. That was, for me, I felt that was one of the top 2 managers I think Manchester United should go for. Because I think they've gotten to a point now where they need to build on something more sustainable. And I think he's definitely someone that can bring that to Manchester United. And you guys always seem to like have a plan, but you deviate from the plan. You have a plan, but you deviate from the plan. So I think that Nagelsmann guy is someone that is just a perfect fit for Manchester United right now. You guys have some young players. Champions League football, you have the ability to bring in much more better players with a good coach that, again, as long as you guys give him the time, the support, and everything that is needed, I think he'll be a good fit for United because we've heard some people talk about keeping Carrick. We've also heard some people talking about the likes of Luis Enrique and stuff like that. And I'm like, Luis Enrique is another brand name that, again, Manchester United, they want everything that is brand name, that is good. And yes, he's a great manager. But then does he suit what Manchester United want to do today and tomorrow? That's the part I do not know and I do not agree with. Because I believe in England or the English Premier League, I don't think it's like every other league, right? For you to be able to be successful, I feel that you guys need to be sustainable, right? You need to be consistent for a specific period of time. If you just keep chopping and changing, I don't think that works in the Premier League at all. I don't think it works. So that's why I said, yeah, they need to bring you to the group chat.
I'll make the arrangements. I'll make the necessary arrangements. Anything else you want to add to that, Arnold?
Yeah, and I just think, just to add to what Samco said, right? Like, he's talked about having a plan, sticking to it, right? We've not done that enough recently. Where we are today, Femi, you and I have talked about this thing a few times, just kind of about soccer and stuff. It did not start today. Man United did not fall to this point today. I dare say that Man United started falling to this point where we are at Samco when Fergie was here. That's my view. He has to look back at the deals that were done then. He has to look back at some of the decisions that were made. We talk about Man U's problems as, and I say this kind of potentially preempting the questions that will come later. But so let me know if I'm talking about something that we'll get to later. But Man U's problems, lack of kind of cohesion from top to bottom, right? Like from ownership to player level, for recruitment, and therefore constant a cycle of management under pressure. Let's look at recruitment. When you sold Ronaldo, what did you use the money to do? That was a bunch of cash. What did you use the money to do? I think it was refusing of Valencia. When some of your last consistent, appropriate aged strikers were sold, what did you use the money for? Who did you replace them with? When you lost your Berbatov and you lost some of your best strikers, then you got a Michael Owen that was way past his prime, that was on his last leg. You know, we're all here when Manu did things like his short term Zlatan Ibrahimovic. We're here when Manu did things like that. The last striker that Manu signed that you would say, okay, Manu has signed a striker. First striker. I mean, before the recruitment of last season, was maybe Lukaku. That was the last time you say Manu bought a striker that you can say a club of its stature should properly depend on. It's not, where am I going with this? It's not today that you lose a player of a certain caliber and you use the money to buy the wrong kind of player, or check this out, potentially the right player, but for the wrong reasons. Problems today. Fergie was manager when whoever our striker was left and you got Owen. And you're talking about losing XYZ striker and getting Valdez or getting Igalo. Obviously, we love Igalo as a Nigerian brother, but like, even one of the reasons he snapped everybody's hand off was because he didn't expect to play for Manchester United. At that time, he thought it was a dream that would never come true. But those kinds of deals, those stopgap deals, those bargain market deals, where you get players in bargain markets and for the short term, or players for the wrong reasons, because you want to sell shares or for, other reasons. It did not start today. It did not start with Solskjaer. It did not start with Ruben Amorim. It did not start with anybody. So, I mean, just my thoughts on the problems with Man United.
You're approved. Don't worry. In that group chat, you're approved. You are there. This night, I will send a reminder that they should get you into that place tonight.
See, I didn't have anything to say. I just chop my popcorn.
You must come for me, do it for me.
Just having my popcorn,
I love it.
Yeah, I think, that feels like it even requires an entire episode by itself. But yeah, let's end the United segment on a bit of a positive note, right? So, quick rapid fire. Do you think you're making Champions League, irrespective of the position you guys fall for?
Yeah. Yes.
One more. Who wins the Player of the Year for you under current circumstances?
Player of the Year at Man United or Premier League?
No, sorry, Player of the Season, Premier League.
Premier League. I mean, I think Bruno has a strong play. I just don't think you win that thing if your team is not one of the top two teams. I don't remember the last time, and my memory is a bit checkered on that one. I don't remember the last time the Player of the Season in the Premier League was not a player whose team dominated in many ways. So I mean, remind me if I'm missing, but just that's the struggle I see. I don't see you being third or fourth or fifth. I'm going to be
Fairs, we can leave it there. You see, these are not the kind of United fans actually like.
What about for you guys? What about for you guys actually?
I mean, Arnold, you know my answer, so maybe I'll let Samco kind of give his thoughts because he has some really out there thoughts.
Yeah, I think, like I said, or I'll echo what you said, it has to do with like the top two teams, right? But especially whichever team wins the league, right? For me right now, in terms of like Arsenal players, with the assumption of us winning the league, I'm looking at the likes of Declan Rice, David Raya, Saliba, Gabriel, right? I think Saliba and Gabriel are literally on the same spots. I think David Raya has even gone a little bit up with what he's done so far much lately. So if it's Man City that wins the league, I think it's hard for you to look past someone like Haaland. This guy has scored 22, 23 goals and some assists, and he hasn't scored literally most of 2026, and still nobody has caught up with him, right? So Yeah, I think those are the top guys. So yeah.
Yeah, I echo Samco's thoughts as well. So I'll leave that one alone. Let's jump back into some football, right? There were lots of games this week since Arsenal. Actually, we did lose the Southampton game. I think we've given our thoughts on that on a separate recording. So we'll
Yeah.
probably leave that one alone and get to some of the other Champions League matches. Arnold, I'm not sure if you got to see the games considering your current circumstance, but
In our current circumstance.
I will let you decide, what
Uh,
game was the most exciting to you, and then we'll start there, from the Champions League perspective.
Yeah, I still try to watch so that I can have football conversations with my football friends. But I thought the Madrid game was interesting. I thought the Madrid game was interesting just because those were two teams that were going for it. Just going for it the way you like to watch football. Obviously, the first half, Madrid wasn't anywhere close to what you would expect. But PSG was also a lot like what you would expect, which is, did I say PSG?
Bayern Munich.
By
Bayern
minute
Bayern
Munich.
Munich, Bayern Munich. Yeah.
was much like you would expect. They had the ball, right? And I think all of us going into that game would expect that to be the case, even at the Bernabeu.
Yeah.
But in the second half, Real Madrid comes alive. Now, they didn't make much of the game, but I think that game ending up at 2-1
Yeah.
gives them a leg because we all know, three of us here know that Bayern Munich will give you chance.
Yeah.
Think about it. They dominated that game, quote and unquote, but their goalie was still man of the match.
Yes.
That's rare. When the year used to be man of the match, we didn't dominate the games, right? But Bayern Munich was the better team, and their goalie was still man of the match.
Yeah.
So I think that game is that tie is not. I think when they go to Bavaria, to the Allianz Arena, I think Madrid will have a fair shot at coming back into the game, but we just have to see. They have to start in front of us.
Yeah, I agree with that. I have an Mbappe agenda, but I'm not going to get into too much detail today. So, so Samco, I'll let you give your thoughts on that particular game.
Yeah, I echo what he said. I think there was one thing I noticed. I don't think Bayern Munich's midfield were even as great as I expected them to be, and their left-hand side was a little bit shaky. Bayern Munich, their left-hand side was extremely shaky that game, right? So it's funny that a lot of people look at it and you're like, wow, these guys are literally going back home with a 2-1 win, because if they are taking their opportunities, that game could have ended as a tie, right? But you still have to think about it and say advantage Bayern Munich. Because one, they're going home, right? And they hardly lose at home. But two, you have a Real Madrid team that are not really the best disciplined team, especially defensively. So you've taken that type of defense to the Allianz Arena with the likes of Hurricane, Olise, Diaz. We don't know if Musiala is going to play. I heard the other young kid even just got injured as well. So I think it's the advantage Bayern Munich, right? But I think it's going to be a cracker of a game, because I say this time and time again, Champions League is all about moments. Real Madrid have moment players. You could see when Bellingham came in the second half, he was very, very good in that second half of that game. So I'm looking forward to that game, to be honest, because I think that's going to be the best one left out of all the games. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one for sure.
Man, you're sleeping on Barcelona or Atletico, man. I think that could be a good one too.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game.
But yeah, no surprises for me. I mean, I didn't even realize that Bayern hadn't beaten Real at the
At home.
Bernabeu for a long time. But last week I said I expect them to actually go and win there. So maybe I was a bit careless. I didn't look at the stats, but I just think they're the better team. I just think they're the better tactically managed team, and I think Real Madrid struggle with that currently when they come up against some of those tacticals. That's where my agenda is coming from. I've seen the stats when Vinny and Mbappe start against some of these other guys like the Artetas,
It's not good.
it's not great,
It's
right?
not
I
good.
think so I'd love to see how they manage that. They're very great offensive players, but in today's game where you need them to participate more defensively, they could be a little bit of a liability at times. So yeah, plenty to see in that one. The other game that was really interesting to me was the PSG Liverpool game, because Slot literally spent a full year reminiscing about that game. And then he finally got his chance, and then it was one-way
Belt to
traffic the entire
ass.
one-way traffic. That was actually the big, to me, I think that was the
Bro.
biggest shock of the, not the
Biggest
results
shock.
in itself. No,
Oh,
not
okay.
the
Oh,
results.
you
The
mean the
results,
approach
I
of his
thought
game,
PSG
right?
will win, but showing up there with a back five, I
Yeah.
mean, this is Liverpool. They have the most possession in the league, most chance
Yeah,
created. They did precious little. They had
bro.
25% possession the entire game, no
Yeah.
shots on target. That's not something we expect from Liverpool. So that is what was surprising to me. But I don't know about you guys, what you thought about that game.
For me, like I
Arnold.
said, man,
Oh,
this was belt. This was belt. This was belt to us, bro. Like, boy, talk about literally felt like men against boys. I'm not even gonna lie. Like we spoke about it on the last episode. I believe PSG are the most technical football team out there. Like every single one of their players, when it comes to them being so technical, they can play various positions, but when you see the way they move the ball or transition the ball from defense to attack, sometimes you even think their midfield is not there. Just the way they just bypass the entire midfield. And the next thing is like 3-on-2 or 4-on-2 or something. They were definitely a way better team. It's funny, I went back and I looked at the long highlights. Yo, that thing should have been 6-7.
yep.
Like literally 6-7 goals. Like they dragged Liverpool's defense
All
left,
over the
right,
place,
and
man.
center. There was a time McAllister seemed like he was playing center back. Van Dijk was playing DM. Like they were just everywhere, literally everywhere. And yes, I know it ended up 2-0 and everybody is saying, yeah, a lot of things can change. Not with this Liverpool team, bro. Not with this Liverpool team. I think PSG were extremely good. They are the one team I do not want to play in this Champions League at literally at any time. Because
I
I
said
think,
that last week, right?
yeah, because I think any
Yeah.
team that plays against them, they force you, like they use their technicality to literally bring you out and almost have you playing the way they want you to play, right? No matter the structure and everything that you have, their players just know how to change positions, switch the ball. Man, those guys are just so good. It was literally a beautiful game to watch. It just pained me that it ended 2-0, but man, that was definitely pure assault.
No, yeah, I mean, I just think the speed, also the speed with which PSG play. You talk about the technicality, that's one thing. But you know how there are also those teams that, even if technically they are not good, their counter attacks. Wait, I mean, you see the way Dewey plays, and even
They have
Barcola.
no wasted movement. It's like they have
Yeah.
no wasted movement.
Do you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? So it's like, of their wingers, we talk about, let's say, Dewey, Barcola, Kvaratskhelia, like who do you prefer to face as a defender, as a fullback? You know what I mean?
None. Yeah.
There are different ways of them, and then they have the person who I think is the future of European football, at least the future of PSG, Vitinha.
Yes. That boy is special.
That guy
I don't know
is
what is the future. He's the right now as well,
That boy
like
is
he's the right now. Like
special, man.
I
as
think he
in,
is the best midfielder in the world right now.
That
I
boy
think
is
I think
special,
I'll have him
man.
up there. Yeah.
His vision, his control of the ball, like the way he makes his decision with the ball. And I think also their wing backs. Sometimes I think people don't talk about their wing backs a lot. Mendes and Hakimi.
Those are extra attackers, right? When you
Literally,
think
they are
about it,
literally
right? Yeah.
extra. Nah,
Extra
man, I don't
attackers,
want to
yeah.
play those guys. Someone there to take those guys
Yeah.
out
They
quickly,
better
man.
they should figure it out on the other side. One of
Yeah,
them
bro.
take each other
They
out.
are
Like
good. Yeah,
yeah.
they are good.
let me ask you guys.
But
Let me ask
okay,
you guys
go ahead.
something. Just while we are on the Champions League, when I ask the question, you know why I'm asking it at this time. What would be a successful season for Arsenal? Is it one that includes the Champions League, or is the Premier League sufficient as far as you guys are concerned?
Yeah, the bread and butter is the Premier League, bro. Every other thing is like, I don't want to say extra or accessory because it looks like I'm belittling the other things. But I think the Premier League is a bread and butter because that's the one thing that has eluded us for like the last 3, and we're going on the 4th year, right? So yes, in a situation where you don't win the Premier League and you win the Champions League, everyone is going to be like, "Oh, you won the Champions League and all that." But man, that Premier League, yeah, I need that one, bro. I need that one. So yeah.
My views are a little bit different, and only because of the context of where we are right now. If you had asked me this at the beginning of the season, I said winning a trophy. I think the scope of that is too broad, that it almost implies that if you win the Carabao or FA Cup and that's all you win, that's okay. But at the point that we're in right now, it actually is a trophy. And the reason is there's only two left to be won, which is the Premier League or the Champions League. And either or both would constitute a successful season for very different reasons. The Premier League, because obviously it's been over 2 decades.
Yeah.
The Champions League, because it's never been done before, right? I think either of that would be a successful season and give a launch pad for continued success, right? If you don't win, if you come out of the season without winning any of that, you're really having serious questions about the entire project.
Yeah.
If you win one or both of that, then you can kind of put the project in the context of, okay, there's something going on here. We crowned all of that with a really major trophy. So I don't think it has to be the double or nothing. I think it's either or nothing, right? If you
Yeah.
don't win any, then that would be a failure for sure.
In the situation where you had to choose only one, which one would you choose?
Man, I'm not. I think I addressed this to some extent on our last catch up at Arsenal Los Angeles. I don't think Arsenal fans can be choosers right now, right?
Yeah, I
Because
know. But
so
in a situation where it's gone to head, which one are you choosing? If they tell you are guaranteed
man,
one and you have to pick only that one, which one are you choosing?
that's tough, man. I think
It's
I'll take the
tough.
Champions League. I'll
I
take the
think so.
Champions League. Yeah,
I
I
think
think
I'll
I'll
do
take
the
the
same.
Champions League. Yeah.
I think I'll do the same.
Mhm.
I'm not an Arsenal fan, but by virtue of my association with you guys today,
Right.
Champions League, we know is very prestigious, right?
Yeah.
But that thing, you can kind of mess around and win it. If
Yes.
No,
no,
you can't.
no,
You know
I
why?
know,
Because we haven't.
no. I mean, no. And the reason I put my hand up as soon as I said it, even before you said no, you can't, is because I knew that will come with some backlash. But my point is, you see that Premier League, Femi, Samco, you cannot win the Premier League by mistake.
Yes.
At least for you to win the
Yes.
Premier League, you have
Yeah.
to, without a doubt, be the best team in the league,
The
even
best
if
team.
by a small
Yeah.
margin.
I
think,
totally agree.
thank you. I think it would do more for Arsenal's confidence. Now, you have to think about the future. Whatever you win this season should be something that positions you to do better and take more of the world. If you win the Champions League this year, it's great because Arsenal hasn't done it before, but I don't know that winning the Champions League this year makes you more prepared as the captain of Arsenal or the manager of Arsenal to win the Premier League next season. Now, if you win the Premier League this season, Sanko,
And I disagree 100% with that, man. I
No, I get
disagree
I
100%.
get where you're coming from, right? And the reason why we both said it's tough, like you said, like that's the one trophy that Arsenal has never won. And when they finally win that trophy, whoever that group of players and manager do it, they are seen in a different realm, right?
They're going down in
That's
history.
exactly. They are going down in history of like
Right.
day one, right? Because that's the one trophy they have never won and stuff like that. I have witnessed Arsenal winning Premier League and stuff. I want it again so bad because I still remember how it felt in '04 and everything, right? But in a situation where it's like, because I still feel that tomorrow I'm still going to have a chance. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm comparing myself to the other teams in the league today. And I'll still tell myself that I'm still the top 2 of people that will still fight again for that
Correct.
Premier League. But like you
Exactly.
said, when it comes to the Champions League, you don't have to be the best team to win it. You have the luck of the draw, you have moments and everything. So if I collect just that one today, yeah, let's go and kill ourselves in England. There's no problem. There's no
I think
problem.
that's exactly how I think about it, right? Like
Yeah.
the league rewards consistency. And what we can't say
Yeah.
about Arsenal is that they have not been consistent. Over the last 3 or 4 seasons, we actually have been one of the most consistent teams in the league. You can make all these narratives or you can add context to why or why not it hasn't happened. But the truth of the matter is you've been there or thereabouts in the league. And so there is nothing for me to bet against that we wouldn't be there or thereabouts next season or the season after that, right? Like just given the competitive landscape. So from that standpoint, you can always get a good chance at winning the league. We've gotten 4 attempts at it right now. The Champions League, that's a different ball game, right?
Yeah.
This is where you're going up against the elite of the elite. So that margin of error you guys are talking about applies across the board. Right. So, no. Yeah, if you gave me the, you know what? I don't want to get too far ahead of myself though. Like, we take one game at a time. Maybe we just mess around and do both this season,
I've always thought that when you are knocking on the door or you're punching at the door, you're punching at the gates, like the way Arsenal has been punching for a few years now. Even in Champions League, look at what he did last year against Madrid. I think you need to make it count. So look, man, a lot of people think Man U fans should get Arsenal fans. I see where they're coming from, but I also think that I have bigger problems like making sure that Manchester City don't become the biggest team in Manchester and making sure that my rival, you know what I mean? Like my geographical rivals. Arsenal and Man U, we know that 90s to early 2000s.
It's always going to be there.
But other than that, I don't have any deep-seated hatred for Arsenal. Now, I can understand, check this out, I can understand why my cousin who's an Arsenal fan or my friends who are Arsenal fans will have deep-seated hatred for United, because if you remove Man United from existence, the number of Arsenal's Premier League trophies skyrockets. We've been in the way, in a way that I can see how as an Arsenal fan, you just think about anything. I just like, when these guys have been in my way so much. So
not me. Not me. It's just respect is all I have for United.
I think that rivalry from that Arsene Wenger and Fergie time. Yeah. I remember around the first time Wenger won his own first league title. I think those teams were one of the best teams that the league has ever seen. Like, these were men. And that rivalry was like when you watch it, like these were two teams that were just going for it every single time. So I think that rivalry is always going to stick with a lot of us, especially Nigerians too, right? Like growing up as a kid and watching those things, like, come on, let's be truthful. A lot of us didn't care about City or Chelsea or Liverpool and everything. It was always, that was the only thing that we cared about. So I think it's always going to be there regardless. So
it'll always be there. And maybe I'll have more of a beef with Arsenal when I'm doing better, right? But now I can't have Man City winning 5 straight. I can't have Liverpool going past me for a bunch. The safest person for me to win it right now would probably be Aston Villa. But if not Aston Villa, then Arsenal is now. I look at it. But let me let you guys move to the next question.
No, I just want to say I can't really hate United because, as Samco knows, I am a co-owner at the club. Equity holder. So it's kind of hard to hate that. But actually, since we're in the Arsenal segment, so Samco, do you want to kind of go over the Sporting Lisbon game? I've seen a lot of comments about, that was not a great performance and all of that stuff. With me, I'm just happy to walk away with 3 points and an away win. What are your thoughts?
I'm sorry to disappoint a lot of people, maybe say a lot of Arsenal fans. I enjoyed the performance. I'm sorry. I think it was a professional, away European performance, right? We controlled that game from beginning to the end. At the beginning of the game, Lisbon had a chance. But I think for me, I've also adjusted my palette in terms of the kind of football Arsenal are playing this season. Considering what a lot of us want, especially from the beginning of the season, right? When people talk about this entertainment, free-flowing football and everything. I've seen free-flowing football, even this season in the Champions League. I saw free-flowing football against Bayern Munich. I saw it against Atletico Madrid. I saw it against Inter Milan and whatnot, right? But this very game, I enjoyed it because even towards the end of the game, I didn't feel threatened. And I said, you know what? If we're going back to the Emirates with a draw, I'm still pretty comfortable because it just took me back to how we played against Bayern Leverkusen, 1-1, and I said I'm definitely taking a draw to the Emirates, but then to come out with a 1-goal lead and go back to the Emirates, I really don't know what are you looking for? What are people looking for? What are you complaining for? Right? So for me, I think, like I said, professional performance, I enjoyed it because I've adjusted my expectations based on how we played. We controlled the game. And that was it. There's nothing much to add to that. People that are complaining, I'm sorry, I can't help them on this one, man.
Yeah, same. I don't really know if I have anything else to really add to that because I think we're in the results end of the business, results end of the season now, right? The
Yeah.
business end. Everything that matters is result. Nobody cares. I mean, if you take a look at the Real Madrid game we just talked about, Real Madrid, it was 20 shots to 19 or whatever the case might be. They went for it. No one's going to care if Real Madrid get knocked out. Same thing with the Barcelona game that we've actually not talked about. I think Barca were the better team. Even with like a man down, they had more chances, created more dangerous moments. But guess what? They lost 2-0, and if they get knocked out, no one's going to care, right? So it's the same thing I feel. I think you're really in the part of the season where you want to go get the results. And so I don't really have anything to say for performance or anything like that.
But even outside the result, I don't even think the performance was bad.
Yeah, no, but it's what you're saying, right? Is the palate cleansing that needs to happen. People are expecting
Okay.
a certain kind of game. And
Yeah.
you and I have talked about it here. I said it here earlier in our recording that I think people need to understand that when it comes to this game right now, Arteta is no longer playing football for your entertainment. He's playing a chess match. Every single game is a chess match, right? And, at the end of the day, maybe the end justifies the means. We look back and say, it worked. This is what you asked this guy to do, which is figure out a way to win. And if this all turns out into a win at the end of the day, it's not going to matter. And we're all going to move on from it and to be etched in history that he has won the league or the Champions League, whatever the case might be. And that's exactly how I feel about it.
I think that just to add a voice to that, like I think that's exactly right. I think it was Henri that said it a few weeks ago, right? He said we asked him, and speaking as an Arsenal fan, he said we asked Mikel Arteta to find a way to win. He hasn't found a way to always talk about corner kick, always talk about set piece FC. Look, sometimes it is behaving like this that actually delivers results and trophies. You see, that default, where your default is silky smooth, champagne football, Rolls Royce football. And if it doesn't work out, you know how Man City looks, or you know how their games look when their silkiness is not working out, and it just looks like nothing is working because their silkiness is not working. Arsenal looks like a team that's positioned to win the title. Why?
Yeah.
Because even on days when they are not glossy, when they are not silky, they are able to come out with something. Obviously, they've been losses. Obviously, they've been draws. Leave that aside, right? Like, the point is that this 38 games, it's about picking points on days when you don't deserve to pick points. Even that Champions League is about taking points from, you talk about the clinical, professional, and like Samco said, the game wasn't as bad as people say it was. Arsenal didn't play anything. It's just, this thing is to go to that place and collect something. And that's something, a draw is something, and you collect a win, and people are talking. Let people talk. You win this thing, everybody forgive it. Everything is forgiven when people win this thing. That's how I look at it.
And it's funny because sometimes I tell myself, I'm like, we want the entertaining football, we want the free-flowing football. But do you realize the football that most of us have criticized this season is what has got us to where we are right now? So what reason do you give this manager to change something that has worked so far? What is he going to like? What reason are you now going to give him to change something that he's so close to it right now? We're in game week, 31? You have not seen free football since. You are looking for it in game week 31? I can't help you, bro.
Right.
I can't help you, man.
That's crazy. Let's talk about the last game, the last Champions League game. It was Barcelona and Atletico. Now, Samco, you and I keep talking. It's like we're the only ones, right? That talk about you play the game in front of you, right? People keep asking you to look past it. I always play the game in front of me. And a
Yeah,
lot of Arsenal fans had already started looking at what a potential Arsenal-Barcelona semi-final could look like.
yeah,
Barcelona played at home and, they went a man down. They lost the game 2-0. That tie
yeah,
is looking like it could be on the balance. But thoughts on that particular game?
yeah. I think Barcelona were actually the better team before the red card.
I
But
agree.
as soon as that red card went in, you could just tell Atletico Madrid were focused, like literally, and especially off that free kick that went in, you could tell Simeone was going with a professional performance to do whatever it takes to take that 1-0 to his ground, right?
Right.
Again, you are away in the Champions League quarterfinals. A draw is even a good thing. But to go home with a win, but now he didn't just go home with it. He went with a 2-0 advantage going back home. Diego Simeone is one of those guys that even when the level is the same, a lot of teams really don't want to play him because of how he's going to be able to set up his team and whatnot, right? So now he plays this Barcelona side that a lot of us have talked about, like their defense, their high line. Now they are going back to Atletico Madrid's home. You are 2 goals down, which means you are going to need to attack, which means that defensive high line has to be even higher than it's ever been. That it's ever been. But then again, Barcelona is one of those teams that can also turn this tie over as well, right? Like you said, a lot of people were already talking about this Arsenal Barcelona stuff, and me and you were just like, what are you guys talking about? Like, so many things can happen in football, man. Again, Champions League is all about moments. I don't know why I believe in that thing strongly. Moments. A red card changed the entire cusp of that tie. A red card. And now everyone is already looking at it and saying Atletico Madrid might be the one going through, or they're the favorites to go through, which I agree with them because right now I think they're the ones that are going to go through because I think he's going to do whatever it takes to make sure that result stays the same as it is. So, but good game by Barcelona. They tried, especially in the second half. Yamal was giving everything that he could, and it just
That
wasn't
boy, man.
enough. Yeah, that guy, that only God knows what he does in this World Cup, man. But
Oof.
he was on smoke, but it just wasn't good enough. So another tie again that we're going to be looking forward to next week.
Arnold, do you have anything to add to that?
I agree with kind of what folks have said. I believe the term is called Aram ball. Is
Yeah.
The
Terrorist
haram of the
football.
haram. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you, it's all about how that next game, that game in Camp Nou. That was the one at New Stadium.
Yeah.
New Camp.
It's
Yeah,
still,
still
yeah.
Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, still Cup. Yeah.
We still have no right. They've not moved, right? They just
No. They're
developed
back
it,
now. Yeah, they're back.
renovated
Yeah.
it. Okay. Dude, it's our those first 10, 15 minutes. If Atletico scores again, or if Atletico score again, haram ball is going to be in full effect. There's nothing, even with 9 men, you are going to see a lockup that is beyond all, like, in fact, proportions beyond your imagination. So I just think you're exactly right that
Yeah.
they're in pole position. But like you said, this sport that we love, a red card, a penalty
Crazy.
call. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, on goal, So again, it's all about how the game starts. We just have to see. But yes, favorites, I think it's clear who the favorites are at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Let's do a quick rapid one around the knockout tie. So I'm gonna go. You guys, both of you, Bayern, Real Madrid. Who goes through? Arnold.
Unfortunately, I think Bayern Munich go through.
Yeah. Same.
Why is that unfortunate?
No, it's Real Madrid and it's 2-1 and we just expect is the Champions League Madrid to come alive. You won't expect it to be as easy as somebody calling Bayern Munich, but I said it in a breath because I just think based on the way the game has gone the tie has gone so far and based on what's left and where they are going to play, unfortunately Madrid go to the Champions League. We'll have to say bye-bye to them.
Sounds good. Samco.
Yeah, I'm going Bayern Munich, man. I'm sorry, I don't rate this Madrid team, unfortunately.
you know where I stand, so we can keep it consistent.
Yeah.
PSG Liverpool.
The bonds are going through.
I
Are going
think I think that one is scary. You have to be short of a miracle. You have to be PSG.
PSG.
Right. I actually think that PSG is going to go to Anfield and still double down. Like
Yes.
they're still going to
We
give
are
them more
going there,
work at
bro.
Anfield. Yeah.
No, they don't know.
If there's one,
They don't know who versus away. They don't
They
know who
don't.
money.
that's
They
what I'm
don't
saying.
know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. If there's one team that doesn't care about what ground they're
Yeah.
playing in, that's that team. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Anfield is going to get that work for sure. Arsenal Sporting Samco. We'll let you get the first one
Yeah,
here.
I'll go outside.
Duh.
Yeah, go outside.
I think that one is obvious to the blind and audible to the deaf. So yeah.
I don't know if it's that obvious. Of course, I want Arsenal to win, but again, just like everything we've said, things can, I think the good thing is we are going to be playing at the Emirates, where we'll be really difficult to beat. Only one team has done that this season, and it's my portfolio company. Yeah. The last one is the Barca Atletico. What do you guys have?
One is hard, bro. This one is hard, but I think I'll go Atletico Madrid.
Just cause
Definitely going Atletico.
it's 2-0. Just cause it's
Because
2-0.
yeah, because I'm looking at the game they played, the La Liga game they played. That was 2-1 the last weekend. Real Madrid won. Sorry, Barca won at
Barca
Atletico's
won,
house.
yeah.
They remember the 4-0 cup tie. Then Barcelona went to there. I just think Barcelona have been going for this Champions League dream for a while. And Atletico Madrid will love nothing more than to just frustrate them that day. So I think I'll go Atletico Madrid.
I'm going Atletico for sure. Barcelona is going to keep dreaming.
Yeah.
And that dream is going to extend into next season and beyond. It's not happening this year. I think people are underestimating. Like, I know we're talking about Haram and all of that, and I agree that that's what we should expect. But they also have a very, very deadly forward line, Atletico, right?
Forward line, yeah.
Lukman is not a scrub. Alvarez is not a scrub. And then even Simeone, is playing really well for them, right? So they have the exact kind of tools to hurt you when they are sitting back in a counter-attacking position, right? So I don't think it's going to be as straightforward. And also, when you look at the games between the two teams this season, it's like, yes, Barca has won just as many has, but it's like almost on a nice edge, right? So I don't know how you go there and beat them 3 unreplied. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah.
The one thing I would have liked
Go ahead.
For Marcus Rashford to win as much as he can. Seems like they'll get the league, but
so that one's done.
Yeah,
that one is done.
That one's done. Mbappe is not winning anything in this Real Madrid this season.
Yeah, by
and
next
I will
week,
unpack that agenda. Exactly. Next week I will unpack my agenda more.
That'll be 2 years back to back.
Don't worry, don't rush me.
Not still the way the Champions League is avoiding the gap.
I know, right? Because the minute he left PSG, they won it, and the minute he got to Madrid,
I wonder what the problem is.
Quarterfinal has not. And it's funny because when he even made that move, I remember saying, man, I hope this doesn't happen to Mbappe. There are just some moves that happen that you'll be like, bro, the minute you walk in, that's just when the problem might just start, right? And it's unfortunate that
it was clear to me that was going to happen.
Yeah.
You know this because you know my stance on this. And it's because I've been following too many tacticals. The modern game, I think the problem with a lot of us millennials is we're so stuck on what we used to know, right? What we used to know is you put together the best names, more often than not, you win. Today's day and age, if you don't have tactical discipline, if you don't have some kind of rigidity to how you play, you're going to be exposed at the highest level. And I think that's what's happening with this Real Madrid team, right? I think there's a group chat where I said it. If it comes down, the Spanish league is fine. If it comes down to this front three that likely wouldn't defend and Barcelona's high line, it's a toss-up on any given season. Now, in the last two, it's been more tossed up for Barcelona than not. But when you get to Europe and you have to go play the Artetas, the Enriques, even Slot exposed them, right? You
Yeah.
know, I think you're just going to see that it's difficult to navigate without having 11 players committed to a cause on offense and on defense in today's game. So
I think in the
that is
last
my own thing.
Yeah, I think in the last 2 years, maybe 3 years, but I'll say more of 2 years, you can see where football is not as dependent on the players like it used to be. It's more dependent on that managerial structure,
Systems,
system,
yes,
and everything. Yeah,
yes.
because if you look at it last year, like yes, PSG won it, but let's be truthful. How many people would have seen PSG as one of the favorites for the Champions League? Especially when you see how the Real Madrid's, Barcelona's, Manchester City's, Liverpool doing well in the league. PSG was not in anybody's radar saying they were the favorites. Even down to the knockout stage, because I think they finished very low in the league phase and everything. So now you can tell that it's not really players based as it used to be before. So yeah.
Yeah, but actually, listen to what you said, right? If you call out all the favorites that you just mentioned, only one of them had the profile of Real Madrid in the sense that they have these players. Even Liverpool that had Salah outperforming, there was still like a little bit of like power dynamics between
Yeah.
Slot and Salah.
And
Salah was just
Salah, yeah.
scoring so many goals that it was hard for him to do what he has done this season. That Slot. So Pep, you put him down as a system guy.
Yeah.
Barcelona with Flick, you put him down as a system guy.
System guy.
Company with Bayern Munich, system guy. The only team you would say you can't really see much of a system here
It's Real Madrid.
is Real Madrid.
Yeah.
But just on that point, guys, and not to kind of belabor the subject, but do we think it was time for Ancelotti to go?
Yes.
I think 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I addressed it on the group chat. That's why you
Yeah.
got to join the group chat, you know.
It was
I think that man
time for
realized
Ancelotti, yeah.
he pulled a Sir Alex Ferguson, you know.
Yeah. And he knew as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
knew
knew
as
that
well.
the tide was changing. And credit to him, I have him as one of the all-time GOATs anyway. So his legacy is solidified. So
Yeah.
you know, he did his thing. All right, we're coming to the end, so let's quickly wrap up with the look ahead to this weekend's round of games. I think this weekend could be very, very big, one way or the other, in terms of how the table shifts again. At the time of recording, we've seen West Ham go and beat Wolves 4-0 to start this Premier League weekend, so that puts a lot of pressure now on Spurs, which we'll come to. But let's start with two games that could maybe turn this title race on its head again. Arsenal kick things off with Bournemouth, lunchtime kickoff in England. Samco, we'll give you the first word. What are you expecting?
To be honest, I don't like this game. I know me, there are certain games.
I hate it when you say that, man. I hate it.
There are certain games I'll tell you straight up, like I don't like this game,
I
man.
don't like the way you say that, man. Like
it's if I'm predicting a win, I'm predicting a win just because I'm a fan. I'm leaning more towards a draw for this game because I think Bournemouth are one of those teams I've watched a lot this season. They don't give up. They are ever fighting. And
right.
if I remember, the last game they lost was literally against Arsenal as well. Literally, the last game they lost was against Arsenal in January or something like that. So yeah, this one I think I'm going to go with a draw for this one, which is crazy. But I've always said like I feel between now and the end of the season we're going to drop somewhere between 2 to 3 points, and I really think this Bournemouth one is that likely game.
I'll be damned, my guy. I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Game week 31, 7 games to go. My Delulu is not about to stop right now. I'm riding this Delulu to the end, you know?
Yeah.
Every game I predict from now on is going to be an Arsenal win. I'm going to stand on my Delulu. I agree with you. Lunchtime kickoff, especially first Premier League game after the internationals, is never really a good omen. But listen, man, these are the
But at
games.
least we've
These are the
played
games.
2 games before it, so I'm happy
Exactly. These are
about
the
that.
games of your
Yeah.
lives, man. If you're in the Arsenal camp, these are the games of your lives right now. If you want to win it, you got to go out and
Go
earn
out
it.
and
So
do it. Yeah.
show me, don't tell me, you know. And I'm looking forward to seeing it tomorrow morning. Arnold, what are your thoughts on that game?
I think Arsenal will manage to get, and pardon me for avoiding the question in a way, but I think Arsenal will manage to get just enough from that game to keep things pushing in the right direction. What do I mean? Like Samco said, Arsenal may not win the game, but for me, I'm always looking at, if not Arsenal this season, then who? Arsenal will drop points. Man City will drop points.
1,000%.
Man City, and that's how I look at it. And that is what I will tell you guys to find your peace in. Okay, Arsenal will not be perfect from now to then. Arsenal may not be perfect from now to then. Who will be perfect?
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
worry about
definitely.
it. That's how I look at it. Don't worry about it.
But we're calm. We're calm on this side, you know. We're calm on this side, you know. Let's move over to the Blue Emirates, you know, where our junior subsidiary would be hosting our rivals, Chelsea versus Manchester City.
For the same duel.
What?
Yes, no. We give them the lease to that ground. We own them now. So
but I think this could be a big game, right? I've said this before, just for full transparency. I thought, given the game, the way both of these teams have been playing, I think Man City go over to the Blue Emirates and get a result. But hey, crazier things have happened in the league. So Arnold, actually, I'll start with you on this one. What do you think happens in this game?
No, I think Man City win at Stamford Bridge.
Oh, nice and easy.
I think Man City win at Stamford Bridge. Just because, guys, if you don't mind, of how bad Chelsea, bar the Port Vale game, have been recently, I think Man City win at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
Samco, over to you.
I'm going to City win, mostly because of the manager. I don't think he's shown anything in any of the big games so far to tell me that he can scramble a result. And they haven't really been good as well at home this season. So to me, everything points to to City. But I've always been of the hope that all the London boys are going to do the work this season for us and they'll bring the title to England. So I employ...
To London.
Yeah, sorry, to London. So I employ my fellow London tenants to do what's needed, you know. Give them one more month free rent.
I think we'll be very bad leaders if we don't show some encouragement to, like I said, our subsidiary teams. So I'm again riding my Delulu until the end. I think I'm going to go with a Chelsea draw. I don't think they have the capacity in them to win this game. But given that it's at the Blue Emirates, I think that they can sneak in a result, or at least I hope they sneak in a result, just so that they fulfill the Samco prophecy of all London teams doing their part to bring the title back to the Emirates. So I'm going to draw for this game. I wanted us to touch on Sunderland Spurs because that could be seismic as well, right? Given that West Ham, they got out of the relegation zone today. So Spurs are in the relegation zone.
Let's go Hammers. Let's go Black Hats. Let's go. I'm all on board.
You think Sunderland take that tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm fully on board. Oh, is the game tomorrow or Sunday?
Sorry, Sunday.
Oh, Sunday. Okay, yeah. Yes, I'm going to go with Sunderland. I think they've had a very good season, especially at home. I think they've only lost one, maybe two games at home this season, and those have been Liverpool and maybe Brighton. I can't remember. But I think for a first game, I'm looking forward to see how De Zerbi plays because, like I've said, De Zerbi isn't the manager to have the greatest of defense. Before De Zerbi came in, Spurs haven't even been a team to have the greatest of defense. So putting those two things together, I don't see how Sunderland will get chances and stuff like that. So that's why I'm going to lean more towards Sunderland. So I'll say Sunderland will draw, but yeah, I need Spurs where they are because now we are fully on board. The choo-choo train is going to the championship, man.
I'll bring in Arnold. Arnold, do you think Spurs get relegated this season?
Whether they get relegated this season, I don't think so. I worry about the Sunderland game. I'd like Spurs to get 3 points. I think it end up being a draw. I hear that. I read somewhere that De Zerbi at Marseille and at, what was the other place before Marseille? Brighton. First five games, he's not a manager to go
his
to.
First 5 games, he doesn't really have a good result.
You don't get the bounce.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
And the reason I hate to say that is because it's somebody who is very dear to me, who is a sports fan. But I just worry that based on Bezebi's records in his starting games, the fact that Spurs is playing against Sunderland, the fact that Spurs is playing at Sunderland, I just worry about this next game. But I think Spurs will stay up somehow.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Sending them
I
to
think
the
they
basement.
complete the treble for us, by the way. You know.
So they complete the treble.
Don't use up your football prayer aces on Spurs. Use your football prayer aces on Supreme Ball.
No, that one is light work. That was light work.
The God of football created a different goal. Don't let the God of football go and take the prayer. Okay, you pray for Spurs to go. Okay, I take that prayer. I don't know how you that was.
There's no prayer you even pray for those guys right now. Like
yeah.
They've been in this situation
we call
for
those
a while.
assertions.
Yeah. Today was just their first time they were let into the house. So how they get out of the house is what they are looking for now.
Unbelievable, guys. That'd be wild. Then going down, that'd be wild. That'd be wild.
Mad for who? Bad for who?
No, I didn't say bad. I said wild. That'd be wild.
Wild.
Yeah, yeah. Wild for who?
But wild for Premier League Spurs now.
No.
Wow.
I think it'll be good riddance, actually.
Gosh,
big Lounge 11 updates coming soon. Let it just be confirmed that they're going down. Big Lounge 11 updates.
The person
I will be there.
The person I was talking to, I asked him, I said, what do you think about De Zerbi? And he just said, look, Arnold, I'll tell you after 7 games. You know, I'll tell you after 7 games. Because at this point, I also think the pseudo hire. I think the pseudo hire was it. That was it. What were they thinking there?
Everybody knows that.
They should have switched it.
Right?
Yeah, they should have switched it.
If they had switched it, I mean, depending on the Zerbi's performance, they probably never hired Pseudo. But like, do you see Pseudo's performance at Juventus? His first games or his last, how many games did he play at Juventus?
Bro, we told them.
But they said
They told us today is to do.
Today is to do. You know, the hallmark of a 2-door system. Yeah. We heard everything.
Told them.
They said today is to do. Yeah.
We told them.
Let's close out this week, not just because you're a guest and, you get to go last. You guys are literally playing the last game of the game week. You're at home to Leeds. That would mark, 24 days since your last game, over 3 weeks. But we're all looking forward to seeing United on the pitch again. It's been too long. Thoughts on, how that game goes from a United perspective?
Thanks, Femi. I really appreciate you saying that it's been too long since you saw United. I appreciate you. Thank you. But I think, look, I just think they probably won't deserve to win the game. Probably would just nick it. Maybe something Bruno will do, just win the game. But I think it'll be one of those games where when you come out of the game, you're asking, why does Carrick deserve to be manager? It'll be one of those games that we don't play really well. It'll be one of those games where we're lethargic. But I think somehow Bruno manage or the manager win it through some Bruno masterclass. But I don't have very high expectations in terms of our performance in that game, just based on what I told you, right? Like, they don't play for a long time. They come on lethargic. We're going back to days when all that teams have more energy than them because the Amorim energy seems to have fizzled out. But it's Old Trafford. The fans are psyched, generally speaking, and Bruno is on form. I think unless they can pull a Bournemouth and score pound for pound every time, I think we'll manage and win it, maybe by 1 goal. But beyond that, I don't have high expectations.
Wait, you don't have high expectations in the sense that you don't think you guys win the game? Because I don't think I got like an outcome of the game.
No, outcome of the game, I think we'll manage and win the game is kind of what I was saying. We'll manage and win the game with the Bruno masterclass. But I don't have high expectations in terms of the performance.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I see a world where United don't win this game. I do think it's likely that they draw the game, right? Just again, given everything you said, just having not played for so long. And let's not forget, Leeds are also in a bit of a dogfight. They're only just kind of above it right now, but they could very easily get pulled back in.
Yeah.
And so I think they're in a bit of a dogfight as well. So they have to get up and play the game to at least try to, they must have seen what West Ham has done, and I'm
Yeah.
sure they're thinking about how they claw back points too. So
Yeah.
that's going to make it really difficult for United. But I
Yeah.
think it's probably going to end up in probably a draw. Actually, I'm going with a draw.
Yeah. I think,
I can't knock you guys, man.
yeah, I echo what Arnold said because I think we also have to consider Leeds are coming up from a big win. Remember, excuse me, they just beat West Ham to progress in the FA Cup. And they've had a game more recent in comparison to that of Manchester United, right? So I think the one thing that's going for Manchester United is definitely that they're playing at Old Trafford. I think an early goal would serve Manchester United very well because I think the longer the game goes, like you said, they get more tired and the game might just slip away from them, right? The other part I'm trying to figure out, because I know Maguire has a red card, Delete is not available. So who plays centre back? Like the Euro and who? I know Martinez is back, but I don't know if he's back to start or if you're going to be playing Euro and what was the kid's name? Heaven. Exactly. So I think I'm looking forward to see what our starting lineup will be. But if I'm giving the edge to United, it's because of Old Trafford. And then again, the usual Manchester United Leeds rivalry. But yeah, I think I'll go with a Manchester United win for this one. Just because they are at Old Trafford.
All right. I think that's it. That's all we have for this weekend. Just want to thank you, Arnold, for coming and sharing your thoughts. Always a pleasure chatting with you. Your wealth of information and knowledge is fun to listen to. Like I said, sometimes it's actually not fun having a conversation with Arnold because it's too
Another
rational. You're
adult in the
looking,
room.
yeah, another adults. You're looking for a little bit of that,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
refreshing to hear for sure. Samco, I'll let you close us out.
Yeah, man. Big shout out to Arnold for sure. Really did enjoy this. Thanks for coming on. And just so you know, the lounge is always open to you. It was a very refreshing discussion. Like Femi said, it's like you're one of the adults in the room. So a lot of the times it's like, man, this conversation is not going how I want it to go. Let's have some basketballs and everything. But man, really appreciate you. I appreciate you for giving us your time, man. Hopefully you see you again. Maybe when I get back to your area, hope to meet up with you in person as well. Outside that, just shout out to the viewers. Hope you guys keep enjoying what we're putting out there. Like, subscribe, and see you guys next week.
Wait. Sorry, before we get off, we got to give Arnold a chance to kind of, to just give his own closing remarks as well.
Yeah, true that. My bad.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me. It's been fun. I'd obviously watched several episodes of the podcast, and it's one of the reasons why I made sure to find a way to kind of be honest, because I think you guys are doing something great, and I know it's going to grow, and I look forward to kind of share on the sidelines as this grows something even bigger and bigger and bigger, and even so hopefully at some point becomes live. So thanks for having me, and I promise you I'm not always non-confrontational in terms of my views, but I tend to be generally objective. When Man U starts playing well 50 years from now, yeah, bantering with me will be difficult.
It'll be different.
I was speaking on the conversation of fire. And also, even today, when they are playing the way they are playing, when we talk about the past and comparing teams and things like that, then that's when you start seeing that annoying United fan who says, no, you can't say that about that Man United. That was a better team than. In fact, I have some crazy views like Man U has kind of two trebles. It's just that the 2008 one, the Portsmouth game that cost us the FA Cup final was a kind of fluke. I have some views that will irritate you, but because those didn't just come up today. But look, thank you guys for having me. I look forward to my team improving so that banter with me can really feel like banter. I can have the chest to troll my opponents again. But this was exciting, and I look forward to joining you guys and supporting you guys in the future.
Yeah, man. Love it. Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, man. Open invitation for sure. Feel free to stop by anytime you want to just kick it, just talk football with the guys. Yeah, the door is always open for you. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up there. Have a good week or a good weekend, everybody.
Have a good weekend.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see you. I'll
All
see
right,
you.
man.